Welcome in, everybody, to another live edition of our instant reaction of the Baltimore Ravens loss to the Cleveland Browns. James Haskell, Glenn Martin, DK, all here to talk about as I just mentioned, the Ravens defeat. They lost to the Cleveland Browns 13-3. An interesting game, not the most exciting game on the face of the planet, but certainly a lot to talk about. So I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, Glenn, you are fired up. This might be one of the Glenn is not Glenn is much more even keel than me. Like, I wouldn't call him the most even keel guy in the world, but he's certainly one of them, right? But you're not Joe Flacco even keel, but you're pretty dang even keel, right? And I'm pretty shocked by how fired up you are about this, and so I'm excited to talk about it. I want to know where you want to start, Glenn, because I have a really simple take about this game, maybe because I've already kind of given myself some therapy. But I want to know where your head's at.
Well, obviously, extremely frustrating game to watch offensively. I mean, just wanted to bang my head up against the wall many, many times. So many squandered opportunities, even if that opportunity is just 3 points. So many. I remember 4 field goal opportunities, none of which went down. That would have won them the game. I mean, so many just poor execution, poor. It just didn't look like the effort was there. It just looked like the interest level was low. The frustration with the play calls. I mean, it was countless. The play clock. We're still having issues with play clock. How the hell are they still having issues? And even out of a timeout, Jimbo, a timeout, they get a delay a game. How are we still having issues? And that was only one example. There was many examples where they're rushing out. They're barely breaking huddle with 9-10 seconds on the clock. They're rushing up, and he's clapping his hands to get the ball off. I mean, it's just, how are we still having issues with play clock?
Yeah,
makes no sense.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many things to get frustrated about, but
yeah,
it's like, play clock should not be an issue still. It just doesn't make sense.
Laura wrote and says, oh my gosh, I want to throw up, and where did our running game go? Well, Laura, I'll say this. If you look at, I mean, yeah, sure, I wanted to throw up, but by the end of the game, Glenn, you want me to tell you what? I'm not even going to tell you what I was doing at the end of the game, because I'm scrolling my phone doing other things, because,
well, I mean,
what do you do when our defense is just getting run on at that point, right? And it's a two-possession game, and what the offense has been doing all game. You're like, well, this game is already over. It's just, death by 1,000 paper cuts, right? Because even if the offense got the ball back, what was going to happen at that point, right? So, but as far as Laura's comments, I just wanted to say that we kind of talked about this pregame. I mean, the run game, if you look at JK, who I think at the half was averaging 7.9 a carry on 10 carries, and Gus was over 5 a carry as well, if I'm not mistaken. It really came down to opportunities for those guys, and their efficiency was incredibly high. I'm sure you got some stats out in front of you as well. But to back that up, but man, I mean, I think it was more about when she's referencing where our run game go, it was about us needing to do it more. And especially on early downs, there's a few drives in particular where I felt like the early downs, it was Greg trying to outsmart himself again. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, just double down on your strengths, know what you're good at, stay in your lane, and just do that. I mean,
just go with what's working.
Yeah.
J.K. Dobbins, Jimbo, 13 carries, 125 yards. He
averaged
over almost 10 yards a carry.
Yeah, I mean,
and then Gus Edwards, not to be, completely outshined, 7 carries, 55 yards. He averaged 7.9 a carry. You're talking 8 and 10 as a team, Jimbo, as a team. And this includes a 1-yard stuffed run by Pat Ricard. They averaged 7.1 a carry on 28 carries, Jimbo.
Yeah.
Why is it that why do we come out the gate? First of all, when we decide to throw, we throw with no deception of the run. We go 5 wide. Let's not even give the deception of the run. Makes no sense to me there. We come out to start the damn game. Tyler Huntley, short throw. Tyler Huntley incomplete pass. They're lucky that it was pass interference.
Yep.
that they got, because it could have been a damn near three. It could have been a 3 and out with not a single run attempt.
Yeah, it was a nice acting job. I mean, it was an iffy penalty, right? It wasn't.
I would be pissed if I was a Browns
yeah.
fan. Put it that way. I'd be real pissed.
For sure.
I mean, I just don't understand what, like, I get you got to throw the ball. I understand that. You have to, and clear they couldn't. But if the running game is gashing them at an 8-yard per clip, why are we abandoning it before we even get started?
And this is the other thing too, to kind of combine your 2 points as far as the running game and the play clock. The other thing that, we're having issues with the play clock still, and it's funny to me because Greg talks about wanting to have control of the, what did he call it? It's the race to control, or the race to whatever. When he race to control,
to not be out of control, but fast.
But the problem to me is that you're losing the game. Like, you can't afford to turn 2 plays from a time perspective into one, right? So, simple example, whenever I watch the Ravens, Glenn, and I'm catching up and they're on offense, like if I'm catching up on my DVR, 15 seconds ahead twice, 30 seconds, 1 play, 30 seconds, 1 play. Any other team, 15 seconds. So you're turning 1 play into what could be, from a time perspective, 2. Right. And when you're losing, I don't think you can afford to give up those plays. It's just that simple. I mean, at the end of the day, we only ran it 28 times, if I'm not mistaken, but we only had, I think 17 receptions. I don't know how many times we threw the ball.
Threw the ball 30 times. We still threw the ball more than we ran it.
But the point is, I still don't think that, like, it's an overwhelm. I don't know. I just feel like we needed more shots at it. We needed more, we're killing ourselves. And then we get in a situation where we can't even get the ball back because we've also hurt ourselves in the clock perspective, and we put up 3 points. So it's just, a lot of compounding injuries here. What the Flock says, I have no words for this loss. 3 points. Harbs led 20 seconds run at the end of the first half, going forward on 4th instead of taking 3rd, and zoned D on the 3-yard line. There's a lot of things there. I'll unpack this real quick. Just a few of my own points. I'll let you get at it as well. I want to go right to the 4th down one, because I think the comment with the most meat on the bones there. I wasn't upset with the call as far as going for it. I didn't like the play. I don't like Ricard rushing the ball. You know what? I don't care how much he weighs. My problem is that he runs so vertical. He's not a natural runner. Like, he's not a groomed fullback. And so he always runs high. Like, he stays high to me. And, and so to me, you allow him to do what he's best at, and give Gus the ball, who's only 50 pounds lighter, right? And he's a professional runner of the football. Like, that just seems simple to me. Yeah. But I just don't like that.
I didn't have a problem with going for it when you're, I mean, you're having success on the ground. I didn't have a problem, and they didn't get it. And at that point, the defense was playing phenomenal. And you think, worst case, they get the ball at their own 6. We stuff them again. We get the ball back. That's the idea. But, I mean, when you don't get it, I mean, gee Louie. And, like, it's not like they were nailing every field goal either.
Right.
So that was no gimme. That was no guarantee. But, yeah, I mean, 3 points is unacceptable, especially when you consider how well they were moving the ball until the red zone, because their running backs were absolutely gashing the opposing defense, and they just didn't take advantage of the opportunity that they had. I mean, you just think about things like, what if Lamar was here? Lamar had a game where JK has 13 carries, 125 yards, and Gus has 7 for 55. What could he have done, with it, in that game? And I think we really saw that Tyler Huntley is as great of a backup as he is, much as we like the guy. He's the reason he's a backup, right? Like, I mean, he was late on a bunch of throws. He missed throws. He can't. Even when they obviously told him, do not take a single hit this game, he still found a way to take hits. How many times did he not throw the damn ball away, and instead he takes a hit and loses yards when all he has to do is pitch the ball? I mean, he's already right next to the sideline. Instead, he takes the hit, loses yards. I mean, just throw the ball out of bounds.
Well, I want to get. Oh, let's see what the Flock says. Sad part is nothing will change unless the head coach is replaced. Disagree with that one. I love Harvs, but he's too loyal to his guys. Can he see a Super Bowl?
Look, is there any doubt in your mind? Can he see a Super Bowl with this offense? No way.
Oh, with it. Okay, I was trying to figure out the W.
What I look at it is there any doubt in anyone's mind that Greg Roman will not be the OC next
year.
Yeah,
no, I mean, I don't think so.
There's just no way. So
right.
there's no way. Like, he's going to be gone
this
after
is the thing
year.
I'll say, Glenn. I decided about this game.
All right.
It doesn't matter.
What game? This game doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter. Okay, hear me out, okay?
All right.
We played this is the second divisional game in a row on the road. Back-to-back with 2 backup quarterbacks, the second and the third string. We came out 500 in those games. The Ravens still have the opportunity to win the division. Winning the division is the goal, obviously, and then getting in the playoffs, and we have bigger goals than that. But that's still out in front of us. We went on the road against a real, from a roster perspective, a really good football team in our division that we already beat once this year. So we split the Browns. The game's out. The season.
Jimmy, I'm not ready for the bright side yet.
But that's simply
I'm
what
still
it is.
pissed off. I'm not ready for the silver lining.
Can be, but that's just how I felt about the game after. I was like, honestly, like I was pissed that we didn't win this game, but is it hard? I mean, how much can we actually expect a backup quarterback to do on the road, right? We expect more of Tyler Huntley because we know Tyler Huntley, but at the end of the day, he's a backup quarterback for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying. If you tell me that you're going to go, if you tell me Team
Patrick
A
Mahomes
is going to go
injured, right, and his backup quarterback's in.
Yeah, if you say Team A is going to go play 2 division games on the road with their backup quarterback, would you be happy with a 500 record after those 2 games? The answer would be yes.
Yeah.
But damn, this game was so ugly, Jimbo. It was so hideous. That it's hard for me to look at that from that perspective. I get what you're saying. Your grand point is that going 500 in back-to-back road division games isn't the worst thing that could happen. But man, I'm not ready to hear silver linings yet. I still haven't gotten my complaining out. Yeah, DK says it right. 3 points. I mean, 3 points against a Browns defense that, let's be honest, isn't ranked as one of the higher ranking defenses league-wide, is unacceptable. I don't care the weather. And I get that you have a backup quarterback, but you get 7 yards per carry and you score 3 points.
Yeah.
It's just, it absolutely cannot happen. Jared Ramirez says, I know it's probably too late, but something needs to change. We will be a first-round exits yet again if this stays the same. Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, look, we said it last time. Yeah, if game script works, then this offense is going to work great. Now, look, do I think it'll look a little bit different if Lamar's in there? Of course, it's going to look a whole lot different. And they're saying the expectation he'll return to practice this week, and we could be forgetting all this if Lamar returns and the offense is kind of back on track. But right now, I mean, this is exactly the worst nightmare. The Ravens get a deficit, even only a 3-point deficit, not even like at worst. I mean, it's not like they were 10 points. That was the biggest deficit, and they couldn't even get it closer. They could do nothing. So, man, it's really, really tough to kind of see the bright side here. Yeah, Jared says another thing that bothers me is we left the running game behind when we needed it the most. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. They were running the ball even when the Browns knew they had to do it, and they just got away with it, got away from it too much in the first half, in my opinion, left way too many points on the field.
Yeah, I mean, all your points are valid. Sorry for blasting with the sleeper chest, but all your points are valid. Absolutely, 100%. The way it looked was just hideous. And man, it was just, I tweeted this. It was just too much pressure on the defense. Some people are, not a ton, some people are blaming the defense for not stopping the run and this, that, and the other late in the game. But like, how long can you expect them to hold down the fort for the entire team, right? Like, how much pressure can you put on Justin Tucker in a 49-yard field goal in the snow with crosswinds and like?
Well, look, if you're going to be the GOAT, I got to trust that.
No, for sure.
You're the GOAT. Sure.
He missed one. One. He's still 92% on the road.
Yep.
He missed one, but
I'm not gonna say he's above. Okay, look, you're the GOAT. You got to make it.
Yeah, for sure. But at the end of the day, our offense is just simply not holding up their end of the deal.
Nope.
They're just not.
Can't be mad at the defense. Can't be mad at them. I mean, look, they lose Peters. Points. Let's hope that calf injury is maybe a calf strain and not an Achilles. Because anytime I hear calf, I immediately think, what's up with the Achilles? Right? Yep. What's up with the Achilles? What's going on with Calais? He's got the knee. That certainly didn't help the run defense down the stretch. I think that's why Cleveland had a pretty nice run in the fourth quarter, and Chubb damn near broke 100.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, let's see. I think it's just ridiculous that somehow we never make adjustments, yet we think we can win. Lamar is being wasted, in my opinion. He's awfully early in his career to say he's being wasted. I mean, yeah, it's tough to win a Super Bowl. Only one team does it. I think it's a little early to say he's being wasted. I mean, yeah, but I mean, they got to do better. I think that's certainly fair. They got to do better. And let's talk about Mark Andrews. What the hell has happened to Mark Andrews, Jimbo? I mean, this guy hasn't scored a touchdown since week, 3?
Yeah.
I mean,
I think week 6, right? Week 6. Wide receivers haven't scored a touchdown since week 3. Okay. He hasn't scored a touchdown since week 6, I believe.
Why is it that he has suddenly lost any ability to catch the ball in traffic and when he has contact?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I just simply don't know. Maybe there's just too much. I don't know. I'm trying to think of something, and I'm just gonna be grasping at straw, so I'm not even gonna say anything. But yeah, it's tough. I mean, you saw them go into Likely at least a few times, and then to Oliver, and you want to think that in normal situations with Mark's been a little better. Maybe those. I don't know. I'm trying to think of an excuse.
He's got to be hurt, right?
Right. Like, maybe the injuries are still a thing. Same thing with Devin. Devin seems like unfocused. The little pat where he puts his hand up in the air and hits the ball. It was just weird.
What was that?
Yeah, I didn't understand it at all. And then the bad decision to bring it out of your own end zone was also weird.
Dude, and finally, Demarcus Robinson's carelessness with the ball in his hand.
Gosh.
I mean, my goodness, we saw it 2 weeks in a row where he's holding the ball with one hand like it's a remote controller. Yeah. And then finally it costs him. I mean, they're punching the ball. Ball security, man. Ball security. You cannot.
Job number 1.
I mean, he need the ball out of his own hand, Jimbo. It wasn't even a defender.
Yeah, that was insane to me. I mean, just to yeah, he's not crossing anyone over here, man. Like, this is in high school. You got to hold on to the football. Golly day. Now you're getting me mad, Glenn. See what you're doing to me? I was all over it. And I was just trying to think of like the grand scheme of things and how much better things will be when Lamar gets back. But look, can I get to some positive things?
Sure.
All right.
What do you got?
How exciting is it going to be to have Lamar Jackson back with the way these two backs are running the football, with the way this offensive line is playing football? Right?
That's a good point. No, I mean, that's exciting. I still remember, Jimbo, when Lamar was here, that the passing game was struggling then. So while I think the run game will get a boost, an already, ascending run game will get a bigger boost with him there. But I still have my worries and concerns about what this passing game is going to look like.
Yeah. And those are valid. Let's see. Masi says, hopefully you dedicate this show to offense only. Defense again, ball did their job. And many people who don't watch Ravens often as this was only game on TV. Just seen how Lamar is not the issue. Lamar vindicated. Ravens lost. Lamar won. I understand your point. It was really all on the offense here, but the special teams left there on the board. We still would have lost the game. Well, 6 really if you count the block.
12.
The special
12 teams? If they kick it when they go for it on 4th, that's that's a gimme 3. And then there's 3 other field goal opportunities that.
Yeah, for sure. But I don't know. I don't know if Lamar needs to be vindicated. But like if you're saying it's Lamar against the Ravens, I don't even think we're there yet because Lamar's not on the field. Like, he needs to go out there and do it and stay healthy and take us to the promised land or do something with it, right? So. Anyway, I don't
like the position of them.
Yeah, Lamar against the Ravens.
They're in it together.
Yeah, the Ravens win, Lamar wins. Lamar wins, the Ravens win, right?
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, this has been one of the most frustrating. Now, look, I understand the weather had a big hand in all this. Their kicker missed 2 field goals. Deshaun Watson had his issues. But it's just, to me, it's inexcusable to have this kind of an offensive performance when you consider how good the run attack. Like, the offensive line was blocking their butts off. The running backs were showing bursts. J.K. Dobbins. By the way, did you think he was gone on that one?
Yeah, I did. But he's getting closer. What do you think, DK? Is he getting closer? Is it looking better?
Gotta be.
All right.
He's
DK's our de facto doctor, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right. I mean, he still doesn't have the breakaway speed, but I mean, when you see that run game hitting it the way it was, it's just like, man, how do you not take advantage of that with the passing attack? How do you not come up with a creative play action game plan off this ridiculous run attack. I just don't understand it. It's just Quan says no JK in the red zone. Still can't get plays out. Still running 3-man routes when defense have 7 men in coverage. Greg Roman needs to go now. I mean, I just don't. I mean, it's hard. How can you defend what's going on offense?
Would you be absolutely flabbergasted if he just got the boot tomorrow?
I wouldn't. I wouldn't be.
What's more likely?
Stunned.
Does he get the boot tomorrow, or does James Prochet get cut tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm so tired of hearing these James Prochet people like defend him and say he just doesn't have to. He is not an NFL caliber wide receiver. He's just not.
Right.
And by the way, yes, thank you, Knights. Thank you. Why was David Ajabo active? I didn't see him.
Yeah, I kept looking for him.
So we just activate guys just to activate
him and Adafe are bench buddies now.
Well, I mean, you activate a guy and then you play him. I can't wait for the snap counts to come out. Why do you take up a roster spot, a valuable roster spot on a guy who did not play? Correct me if I'm wrong. Guys, in the chat, did anyone see number 90 on the field? Or did you just see him in the pregame, hype video like everybody was, as they were, oh, he's finally going to make his debut to not play a single snap?
Yeah, goodness gracious.
Oh, Ajabo played on punt return. Holy smokes.
Ian Wick says JK didn't get 1 carry in the fourth quarter. Crazy 9-yard a pop. Yeah, it's the same thing. It's like, okay, everyone says it's the fourth quarter. We're down. We need to start throwing the football. But Glenn,
running the ball gives us the best.
It's way more effective. Like what was our average? 7. We averaged more yards per carry, right? No. So rushing, we averaged 7.1. Receiving, we averaged 8.1. So 1 more yard.
Well, but passing, we averaged 4.6.
Oh, right. So So, I mean, look, at the end of the day, we were more effective running the football from a cover the field perspective. So, man.
Yeah, you can't just count the completions. You got to count the incompletions too.
Yeah.
And that's 4.6 yards per attempt compared to 7.1.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, you got to count the incompletions too. Good point. Second half, we didn't run the ball. I don't understand. Laura, I think we're with you here.
It wasn't out of hand. They're down. They lost the game by 10. They never were down by more than 10.
Right.
I don't understand the abandonment of the run game when it's the only thing that's working.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish I had an answer for you that made sense, Glenn, but I just don't.
I'm so frustrated, dude. I never get like this.
I know.
Just fed up, dude. I'm fed up with the bull crap on all. I mean, it's a way. How do you have this great of a run game? It's like we always talk about the Browns. Like, how do you have Nick Chubb? He averages 100 and some yards a game, and yet you still lose this many games. It makes if you have this great of a run game, your passing game should be so wide open. It should be so easy because they have to respect linebackers just. They should be in no man's land out there going, I don't know what to do, coach. I got to respect this ridiculous run. So, yeah, guys are running by me. It should be, oh, my goodness, I'm frustrated.
Yeah. Yeah, Marco G said, did anyone notice Huntley throw his hands up in the middle of the huddle or in the huddle because he wasn't, the call wasn't coming in. Browns can't stop a nosebleed against the run, and we abandoned it. Yeah, I didn't see Huntley throwing his hands up, but I did. I did. I didn't catch it, but I'm not surprised, right? We've seen Lamar do the same thing.
So, and then they're going to come out and say it's technical issues, and we have a plan when that happens, but it just didn't work. It's going to be the same. We've been hearing about the play clock issues ever since he got here.
Yeah. But this is my only thing, Glenn, that I've got to ask.
Hey, it could be worse. Could be a Colts fan.
Yeah, seriously.
Up 33-0 at halftime, and Matt Ryan did it again.
Yeah, no kidding, dude. But this is my real question at the end of the day. Is the sky falling? Like, is it over?
It's not over. Of course it's not over because Lamar Jackson's coming back.
All right.
But if he wasn't, yes. And it's a waste of a ridiculously good defense.
Ha, JL, I'm sorry for calling you guys Giro's nephews. With this run game, Lamar is going to kill in the play action. Everything is still in front of them. Thank you for saying something positive. JL. We need it around here. Jeez, whiz.
Is JL the one that called us his nephews? Well, he's probably not the only one. But, yeah, I mean, let's hope that that's the case, that when Lamar comes back, that the offense just kind of gets back to going, how it was at least. I mean, it can't get worse in the passing game. It can't get worse.
Yeah.
I mean, holy smokes. It's been absolutely tough to watch. Ian Wick says offense has been average for ages, even with Lamar Jackson. Well, you're right, but the best chance they have of getting out of that is with Lamar Jackson. So that's the only thing what else do you have to look forward to? There ain't gonna be no exceptional wide receiver talent. They're not gonna fire Greg Roman and all of a sudden Sean Payton's gonna be calling plays overnight and have this. That's not gonna happen. The only thing we have that we can kind of cling to and look forward to is the return of the great Lamar Jackson and hope that that's enough to get us going again. I mean, it's just crazy, man. I mean, Demarcus Robinson is the only wide receiver that can catch the ball and get open.
Yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, oh man.
Devin Duvernay is a shell. He's hurt. He's a shell. Mark Andrews, same thing. Who else?
Yeah. No, you're right.
I mean, oh my gosh.
You're absolutely right. It's hard to argue with you on that one. Let's see. Assad Rockman has said, when's the last time our coaches made a good decision? That's a hard one.
I tell you what, there was a play. That play where they, if you guys remember in the first half, it was really a nice play. It was like 3rd and 9. They turn Miles loose and they do like a little shovel pass.
Yeah, that was
a nice play. That was a good decision.
That was awesome, man. That was a really
nice play. Yeah, that was creative. That was cool. But no, I mean, to his point,
baited the heck out of him, didn't he? And
it's ballsy. You turn Myles Garrett loose.
Yeah, no kidding, man. That's like in Remember the Titans when he's like, let him through.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what did you say? Let him through.
Let him through. Right. Nick says, we got rid of an OC at the end of the season, then won a Super Bowl. Yeah. Just saying. P.S.
Yeah, but we don't have Jim Caldwell like one of those staff anywhere. We don't have
that's
a guy
one of those
like
things
Jim
that happened
Caldwell.
once, and now everyone's like, but it happened once. I think that was such...
And they were prepared for that.
Like magic, in a bottle.
Well, and once, I mean, I think, but they were so
Caldwell was a former head coach.
Right. I mean,
Caldwell had a little bit more of a resume than T. Higgins and Keith Williams.
Yeah, exactly. Right. You're talking about a personal wide receiver coach and a guy that was an offensive coordinator at what, USC?
USC,
yeah. So different
Caldwell was staffed with Peyton Manning,
It's a tough one. That's a different scenario. Derek Lindsley says EDC is negligent in the way he built this offense. Injuries have if Bateman was out there, we'd probably be singing a different tune, right?
I mean, it's just hard because I look at the offensive line, I say good job. I look at the running backs, I say good job. I look at the tight ends, I say good job. But man, them wide receivers without Bateman.
Problem. Yeah, it's a serious problem, man.
Bad job. So, but there's a lot of positions on offense, and only one of them is a huge stinker. Jersey Mike says, Huntley play style don't fit RO. He's a spread offense. I don't think the quick passing, short passing is a good fit with a great run game. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. Like, you run the ball to set up play action shots or to sneak guys behind linebackers to go from, it's like they go from this heavy run attack to, okay, we need to pass. Let's spread them open.
Yep.
Run 5 quick little short routes, 3-step, boom, it's out. It just doesn't seem like the two work together. Like, it's just weird, man. It's just crazy. It's crazy. It's driving me off the wall here, Jimbo. I'm losing.
We need to put you back in there and call some plays, Glenn. Do you, in your heart of hearts, think you could do a better job right now than Greg Roman? No experience at all.
I'm a confident asshole. So, I mean, you give me a few weeks. I'm telling you, Jimbo, I play a lot of Madden.
I was waiting for that one.
And I've been playing it a long time. Okay.
Oh, gosh. That's hilarious.
Shout out to Mike. He thinks I'd do a better job. Shout out. What's up, buddy? My man Mike is, by the way, heated right now. You should have seen the all caps text I'm getting just like in the chat.
I mean, it was a terrible game. Like, don't get me wrong, but we didn't lose out on anything. Like, we needed this game, but we didn't need this game.
Well, they could, because look, we thought that the Bengals schedule was extremely tough, and in some ways it still is. But you look, their game tomorrow night, the Bucs. This ain't the Bucs like we thought when we were talking about it.
The Bucs are on their last leg. They need this game.
The Bucs stink out loud.
They do, but you said it. about Justin Tucker. This is still the GOAT under center. Yeah. And you can't say anything bad about Tom Brady because you are fully entrenched in that camp.
Oh, he's the GOAT. I mean, yeah, of course.
So they need this, right? Because the only way they're getting in is winning the division. So this is desperation.
Who? Oh, you're talking about them. Yeah, 100%.
This is the only way, right? So this
and if Carolina wins out, they win.
Right. So I mean, look, I agree with you. The Bengals should win, but remember also last year when the Bengals lost to the Jets?
Yeah. No, you're right. After beating the Ravens, having a huge win against the Ravens, they go up and lose to the Jets. It could happen. I mean, and if the Ravens beat the Bengals in the last game of the season, then they'll take care of business themselves. Edwards says stayed up to 1 a.m. in the UK for that. Offense was really poor tonight. I hate when we do that sprint right to the play on 4th down. It never works. Yeah, the quick sprint out to the right, which, by the way, the snap was made at 0 on the freaking clock, and you run a sprint out to James Prochet.
Yeah.
What has James Prochet done to earn that responsibility?
Yeah, I hated that play. Yeah, I mean, golly day, that was a bad play. Ugh. Goodness gracious. Sorry about you staying up so late, my man. We appreciate you rocking with us right now. That was a real tough game in a lot of ways, but certainly it was a tough one to watch. When Cleveland closed the game, I saw number 9.
They had him out there for that? Okay, there we go.
Getting some reps in. All right, so that's what we did it for, Glenn.
Yeah. That's why.
Are there any? Let's see. Jersey Mike says, how much will the PCL hinder? Oh yeah, hinder 8. We need him full go.
Good question.
Yeah.
I mean, how many designed runs can you actually? I mean, Greg, you can't ask Lamar to carry the, but he shouldn't have to with the way this run game's going. Yeah, he truly shouldn't have to. But man, that passing game's it's got to be better. Let's just try and imagine, Jimbo, because look, John sees this. He sees this. He hears all this. I don't care what all them say. I don't care what the players say, the coaches say. They hear all this. They hear all the talk. They see what's his name on Get Up every morning, Orlovsky. They see all that. They see Kurt Warner. They see. What do you think the meetings have got? Like, has John have to be reaching a boiling point in his frustration offensively? Like, or do you think he sees things that just we don't have? Like, what do you think that conversation is like between him and Greg after a game like this?
Yeah, man, it's got to be a pretty emotional one, right? Because
imagine how hurt we are. How hurt must John be? They invest their whole lives. They don't see their families.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think of what John could see that we don't see. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming up blank. So to me, it's you got to think about. I believe that John. I mean, it's apparent that John also believes this, but you have to focus on the things that you can change in the short term, and those are probably going to be small things.
If you can't change the freaking play clock issues,
that
should be the easiest. Boom, it's changed. We never have that problem again.
Yeah, and even if it's from even if it's him telling Greg, hey, Greg, you know the whole race to control thing? We're not doing that anymore. Like, we're just not. That's not part of our game plan on offense anymore. If we're gonna maintain control of the football, it's gonna be because we run the rock and we keep the clock running. But we're not gonna get pretty. Let's just get up to the line and keep it simple, right? Like, but those things can be done. But that has to be how the conversation can go. Even if John is pissed, is all he's full of vinegar, right? Like, what can we control that we can actually change? Hey, how about next time on 4th down, we not throw it to a guy that has, 1 reception on the season, right? Like, how about we get it to Mark or Likely or Oliver?
Yeah, Mark's not playing well, but you die with your best guy having the shot at it. That's what you do.
For sure. Or
not your worst guy.
Right. I mean, but even if it's not Mark, if you use him as a decoy, throw it to a Likely, throw it to
Demarcus Robinson, who's actually shown he can do something.
Right. Exactly. I mean, look, you remember the play that they did on the 4th down when in the last Browns game in overtime where it looked like it was JK was out in front of Lamar and Lamar could have thrown it to him and he threw it to Marquise instead for the touchdown.
Yeah.
Like, why couldn't we have seen something like that? You know what I mean? It was a stupid play. And the problem was to me, it was, see, Glenn, you got me worked up. I was so excited to come in here and be chill and relaxed and, oh, geez whiz. But the margin of error on that play was like this,
yeah,
and so that was just a stupid one. Man, that was a dumb one. That one really got me fired up, for sure. So I don't know.
And, I mean, look, the defense. Let's talk a little bit about the defense. I think, I think that they played winning football. Did they look like at the end they were like kind of like it don't matter if we get this offensive ball back? Yeah, I think there was a point where you look over and you go, what does it matter? These guys ain't gonna do nothing with it. I mean, if we ain't scoring on defense, they ain't doing nothing.
Right.
I mean, it's got to be frustrating. Do you think that at some point, I guess, do you worry that ever you see some resentment start to grow between the defense and maybe it's not directed at the players, but maybe they start to have some resentment towards Greg Roman and the offensive staff?
No, I don't think so. I think it's too early for that. Like, it's not like we're losing.
They're not out of it.
Right. They're not out of it. They have a lot to play for. We're still a winning team. And it's been happening for, say, I don't know, month and a half. Maybe but the pieces, I think, to have a serviceable, I'm not going to say 2019 offense or anything close to that, to have a serviceable offense are there. So it's not like all.
And the defense is better than serviceable, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean. So it's not like, they're not in a situation where they're looking at Zach Wilson under center, you know what I mean, for the long term. And so that's why I think that will keep those feelings of resentment from happening.
Yeah, and Laura says the worst part is Massage Maniac thinks he played a really good game. Yeah, I mean, look, I didn't like seeing Deshaun get his first touchdown as a Brown, I believe, or at least it was in his own stadium.
Right, at home, yeah.
At home. I didn't like that at all. He also had some big scramble yards, big first downs at times. So, yeah, I mean, he didn't play great, though. I mean, look,
didn't light the world on fire.
But it's just he had so many opportunities because the Ravens offense was just putrid. Yeah. So while I don't think he played well, I mean, you give a guy enough opportunities and he's going to do something. Harb said, King Tay says, Harb said it wasn't Huntley. It was everything else.
I'll have to go back and see that one. I mean, I think it was everyone. I think
Huntley definitely was late on a couple balls, had a couple fluttering balls, but yeah, I mean, it's hard to. Everyone gets a little piece except for the running backs. Sure.
Yeah, and this one, absolutely. I mean, it just is what it is, right? It was just a bad performance all around from top to bottom, and no one can escape it. Benjamin Scott says, why would he come back? So the fan base can turn on him for Huntley so James can say he's a better passer than Lamar. Hold on a second.
Coming at you, Jimbo Slimbo.
Benjamin, don't
defend yourself.
See, now you're going to get me pissed off, right? Like, this is ridiculous. I'm over here talking about how we went 500 with a backup quarterback. The only things Glenn, you know what pisses me off about this statement is that every single time I say anything positive about Huntley, what do I say? Wouldn't trade him for Lamar Jackson. Let me preface it with 80,000 words worth of commentary so no one gets their Lamar Jackson feelings hurt, right? Like, stop being so insecure about Lamar Jackson. He's our quarterback. I get it. He's better than Tyler Huntley. Never was my point ever. Ever. Right? Like, I don't understand the question here. So you're saying, why would Lamar Jackson come back? Like, instead of just sit out for the rest of the season? Because this is a part of his legacy. This is a part of who is, what if he can make a comeback and play with some pride, play with some, bring this team back, bring them out of the depths of despair. Because apparently the sky is falling for every single Ravens fan in the world. So, like, if he can bring them out of the depths of despair, all hail Lamar Jackson, right? Anyway, he's going to be here next year anyway. So sitting out and then go getting paid somewhere else doesn't happen. He's getting franchise tag. Now I'm getting angry.
I knew that would get you. When I saw his name, I knew it would get him fired up.
Wow. What else do I need to say to protect Lamar Jackson here? Every time I've said anything, like, I don't get it. I'm tired of walking on eggshells.
Tim says, what the hell is that chicken wing thing Robinson is doing after he catches every ball? Is he talking about how he holds the ball out?
Well, the whole crossover thing. Yeah, it's like the Jordan dunk where he has it like in the forearm. You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy. Yeah.
Sorry,
I don't understand why he's doing that.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Now you feel bad.
No, I don't feel bad about my reaction, but I appreciate the super chat. Let me just say that.
Jared Ramirez says, if anything,
he is getting franchise tag. Look, now he's not even paying. He's still getting airtime. Gosh dang it, I'm getting trolled here. He's getting tagged if they don't come to a deal. They're going to get one more year with Lamar Jackson. You better believe the hell out of that.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Please. They're going to squeeze everything they can out of him before he walks out of the door scot-free.
Well, they certainly wouldn't let him just walk and if that's the case. But I think Lamar does get a long-term deal eventually. Jared says, if anything, this game showed that Lamar deserves his money. If it wasn't 100% already, then it should be now.
It was not the number one offense before Lamar went off the field. Let me remind all you guys, I think we're better with Lamar on the field. I don't know if this absolutely vindicates him, is all I'm saying.
Well, I mean, I think it's certainly showed that why he's the starter, but that should 100%. That's not like that's not something that anybody need proof of. But yeah, I mean, they needed him. They obviously needed him, but they probably need more than just him. We got some spam in the.
Oh, do we?
Yep, we got dating stuff. Let's see. JL said, even with their struggles, the offense averages 22 a game with Lamar at the helm. Since the Roquan trade, the D gives up 13 a game. That's a recipe to win. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, okay. You know what? JL makes a good point because with Lamar Jackson back at under center, let's say he's back next week. Okay, let's say he's back next week. They play Atlanta next week at the bank, at home. Even if he's not back next week, if he's back the following week after that, the second Pittsburgh game, is there any doubt? Like, do you have confidence that we'll put up at least 20?
Yeah.
So if we're putting up at least 20, I have confidence that we'll at least be able to beat Atlanta, at least be able to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, and that's the minimum. Now, if they play well, I don't think it's outside I don't think it's outside of any realistic expectation that they could get to 30. If they get to 30, I don't see many teams beating the Ravens the way the defense is playing. So I think JL makes a good point that there is reason for optimism.
Yeah, 100% there is. But you know what? All I do is talk trash on Lamar Jackson, so kick rocks. Golly, freaking day. You got to be kidding me. People don't listen. Listen to the words coming out of my mouth.
Man. Yeah, that was a tough one, man. I just always thought they were going to just all of a sudden erupt. And I thought they were at the end of the third quarter. They got two big plays. Yeah, get two big plays and then things just sputter. It's so frustrating, man. It's got to be aggravating the room. The only thing I worry about is that splintering starts to happen when you have this type of a frustrating loss, that you do start guys pointing fingers at each other. And I just don't, that's the only thing that worries. I just hope the locker room can stay together.
Yeah, they will. I'm not too worried about that. Let's see here. What else we got?
You got another one in here? I thought that we might be caught up by now. But yeah, I mean, this isn't all. I think what Jimmy, to your point, you go 500 back-to-back road games with your backup quarterback. That's not something that should make fans think that the sky is falling. But man, I hope he's back. And I hope he's back next week. My only thing is, like, if the only way they put him back out at practice and they get him up for this game is if he's 100%, right? Like, if he's got anything going on with that knee, you keep him out, right?
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, he needs to make it through the rigors of a week of practice, like flying high. You know what I mean?
Because it's going to be cold at the bank on Christmas Eve. They're talking about there might be some precipitation. It's way too early, I guess, to call it for sure. But, man, I tell you what, though, I'm glad that the game's at home and not – doesn't Atlanta still play on a turf?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so let's at least be glad that the game's at home, even though it's going to be a lot colder than if it was in Atlanta.
Yeah, that's true. Absolutely. All right. Well, let's talk about our competition and get into it. What do you think?
Do we have the results?
Yes, we do.
I'm seeing the results. Okay. All right. The competition results are in. I got to pull these up, by the way. So, Jimbo, if you want to start reading them off, I got to confirm the count.
Yeah,
I like to always
I know. I know. Glenn likes
I'm
to.
getting sick and freaking tired of losing.
All right, DK, you can throw that first one up.
Tiebreakers.
All right, so the first one, of course, was the Ravens rushing attempts. 33.5 was what the line was. We said it at, DK said it at. It ended up being 21, so the result was under. Glenn, you went you went under on this one, didn't you? Yeah, so you stuck with your guns and you got this one right, and I was bashing you for this, right?
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. All right, so you got this one. I got this one wrong. Okay, let's go to the next one. Let's see. DeMarcus Robinson receiving yards, 50.5 was what the line was. The actual result was 29. Therefore,
he caught 6 balls.
The result was on. What? Hey, isn't that what I told you? 6 for 30? Isn't that what I said or whatever?
I don't know, but you catch 6 balls, you should get 50 yards.
Yeah, well, not in the Greg Roman's offense. Wait, I just said something bad about Greg Roman's offense. What? All right, let's keep going. Gosh, dude. Ravens total tackles high, 7.5.
Easy money.
Easy
money.
It was 11. Who was it? DK, was
Roquan.
it Roquan? Was it? That's what I figured. Yeah. Dude's all over the field every game. So, the over, of course. All right. So I think I'm 2 out of 3 right now. I think you're also 2 out of 3. What's the next one, DK? Browns rushing yards, 125. I think we both went under. And they ran for 143, almost doubling, not quite, but 20 more yards. They would have basically doubled our average. Mm-hmm. So they ran the heck out of the football today, especially late in the game. They did a good job. So over. We were both wrong, both 2 out of 4. I also believe that. Actually keep going because I believe at this point Doug, who the heck is Doug? DK and Brad were also 2 out of 4. So we got to move on to our first tiebreaker, that being the over-under for the score. Total score, or the over-under was set at 38. The total score was 16. Gosh, I went under here. You went under?
Yeah, everybody went under.
Everyone went under. So we're all still tied here up to the end.
Man, this was our closest competition by far.
All right. Total yards for Ravens closest to the pin was set. Or actually, the result was 324. Let's see. What did I have it here, I think. So let's see. Glenn, you were at 315. I was at 352. DK was at 320. And Brad was at 290. Wow, DK was 4 off. And I tell you what, even though he was 4 off,
he was only 9 yards off, and I lost.
Right. I was going to say he had to be close because you were 9 yards off, and Brad wasn't crazy far away. None of us were like 100,
No, you weren't even that far away. We were 26 or so away.
So
I don't even know.
Shout out to DK winning the closest that we were to all being correct in at least that last one. That was the tightest run race, and DK won it by a nose at the end. He did the whole, stick the chest out there at the finish line to get it done. That's right. So shout out.
I consider this banner DK talking in the third person, so I'm going to judge him for that.
Shout out to DK for the win. That's awesome.
Dude, but you know what? I also know the fact that we were tied to the last tiebreakers. I maintain my score and accuracy lead.
Yeah, and your number of wins is also
James
the same,
Lee
right?
Wiley says
everybody.
I think that means everybody keeps saying pay Lamar. I'm sorry, no quarterback is worth $250 million, fully guaranteed. I think, and you might be right that I think you might get some owners all the owners that'll agree with you outside of the one in Cleveland, and that's really what it can come down to. I wonder if any owner be willing to do that, except for the one who already did it in Cleveland. But if that's the kind of the hard line in the sand that Lamar's drawn, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that kind of pans out.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I can't disagree with you on that one. Yeah, look, Glenn, at the end of the day, to kind of round this thing out, it was an ugly one, and we lost. Like, it is what it is. But there are things within the Ravens' control that they can do to keep themselves competitive and close out the season strong and give themselves a chance in the postseason. So I'm not, the sky isn't falling for me. Let's remember that 8 is still not under center. And when I'm speaking to you, I'm speaking to the broader audience here. Yeah, I mean, I still think that there are things that can be done. to turn this thing around quick and in a hurry.
Yeah, Fair Trade says we can't even score 17 without LJ. We average 25 points per game. I mean, yeah, you take the starting quarterback off of any team, and I doubt that they'll score as many or more points. So, yeah, I mean, that's – I don't think anyone in the entire world would argue that they're as good with Tyler Huntley. The question is Lamar Jackson worth, 250 million guaranteed? That's the only question. And the only person whose answer matters is really Bisciotti and the other owners.
Yeah, because if you ain't got it.
I mean, our opinion don't matter. Look, I think we've all been saying we hope Lamar Jackson retires a Raven. We think his impact on the field is only surpassed by his impact in the community. And, we love Lamar Jackson, but it's not our money. And
apparently you love Lamar Jackson.
Oh, yeah, you don't like him. Right. Look, I like how your hoodie blends into the background.
It's good. Yeah, anyway, it's a long story. I changed my screen to blue because I wore a green shirt the other day, and I was a floating head. But then I forgot to change it back, and now I got a blue shirt on.
Smooth.
So, yeah. And I was too lazy to change it. So it is what it is. That's what Tyler Huntley fans do. They make these type of mistakes. Man, this dude is paying rent. He is living free. He's not paying any rent. What am I trying to say? He's living rent free in my head right now, dude.
He is, man. One little jab.
Dude. Nah, dude. Like, come on, man.
One little jab, dude. It's all it took. It's all it took to set Jimbo over the edge. Now everything is back to that. He's gonna be steaming. You're gonna be mad laying down at night, like crying, and you're gonna be thinking
crying. I don't know about crying.
You're gonna be almost sleeping. You're gonna be like, son of a. You're gonna sound like Joe Pesci off Home Alone, dude.
Yeah, for real, man. Oh my gosh. Look, we lost with our backup quarterback to a division opponent in the snow on the road.
Yeah. It's like the tweet. Yeah, when Lamar was super salty.
Yeah. Yeah, what can I do?
Yeah. Oh well. Hey, it was a tough loss. Everybody has a right to be pissed off, but at the end of the day, next week they got to come back and beat a Atlanta team who's benched their starting quarterback and ready to go with a rookie from here on out. And what happens when rookie quarterbacks who have very little experience come to the bank? Typically, it doesn't go well for them. So I expect the Ravens to bounce back in a big way next week, give us all an early Christmas present on Christmas Eve, and be right back in the driver's seat to win the division as long as they can take care of business down the stretch. And hopefully Lamar Jackson will be back next week, and that'll be an even better present.
Right. 100%. So make sure you guys stay tuned in. That's it for us. Of course, on Tuesday, we're going to give the results to the competition for this game. Even though the Ravens lost, you can still win if you submitted your competition guesses before the game. Of course, those things are timestamped, so don't go try and sneak one by DK. He is too smart for that. So, but if you got him in, make sure you stay tuned on Tuesday and Thursday. Of course, we'll reveal our winners. Our winner by then to get some 410 Sports Talk swag. So that's all for us tonight. Enjoy the other game tonight, and
check out that snow game. Let's see how Tua can do in 9 inches of snow.
Yeah, and enjoy it along with some good food and company. But that's all for us tonight. We'll talk to you guys soon. Don't make me.